Far From Others. An audio medium unlike anything you've ever heard before. The pinnacle of sound experience. Jacked and Canned. Featuring John Tessman and Colby Tyler. A place where you will get the information you crave and hear about the topics that you love. Presented by themselves. Coming to you from the basement, bar, and the bedroom. Sponsored by no one. Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacked and Canned, joined as always by John Tessman, and we have special guest tonight, Aaron Rutledge. John, I'm going to skip you for right now.
Yes.
Aaron, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, fellas. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So, John, with that said, I would like to also know how you're doing tonight because I care very deeply about you.
Colbs, I'm in a midlife crisis. I'm in my parents' basement. I'm about to turn 31 years old on Friday. I'm drinking, I don't even know, green tea with lemon and ginseng. I don't even know what ginseng is. I don't even know if I said it right.
If it was going to tell you, I'm pretty sure the mug did not tell you the ingredients inside.
The mug, the reason why I was reading the mug, because it says the best day ever. That's exactly how I'm feeling today. It's the best day ever. I'm feeling good. Feeling good, Colbs. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling nice. So, ladies and gentlemen of Jacked and Canned's audience here, what we will be talking about tonight is first, we're going to have a little bit of an interview with Erin to introduce her to our audience and why she is here. And she will inevitably probably be making a pretty good deal of fun of me in a little bit. As always, we will be cracking a cold one with Colbs. And I got a little bit of a dishwasher topic for everybody that I got to bring up. So we're going to start tonight with Erin. Aaron, I know I already asked you how you're doing tonight, so we're not going to start there. But for the audience, because I know that they don't know, I'm going to go ahead and just give a little bit of a preview to what it is that Aaron is as it relates to Jacked and Canned. So Aaron is a friend of Michelle's, and they don't go to school together, but she attends a school that Michelle used to attend. And thus, I've gotten to meet her a couple of times in the last couple months. That's actually the only 2 times that I've met you, even though evidently you guys have known each other for a very long time. Now, Aaron, I bring you on tonight because the first time we met, you introduced to me that you were a communications major in college, and I found that to be incredibly enticing. I, for one, always thought that would be something. Well, I shouldn't even say always. This didn't even hit me till I was about 27 years old, that I was like, you know what? That would be a cool thing to get into school for. So what brought you to wanting to do communications as a major in school?
Great question. So, like you, I did not realize until, well, actually pretty recently, how cool I thought this major was, and that I wanted to do it at all. So we go back to last summer. I was working a job that was just absolutely crushing my soul, and I had just about had it. Thought I might start looking for another job. As I started that process, I realized I don't want to do any of this crap, like at all, but I still need to get out of here. So I need an elegant solution to this problem. What should I do? So I decided that perhaps after 20 years of not going to college, it was time to make my triumphant return. So I did. I enrolled at MCC, having absolutely no clue what I wanted to do other than something other than what I had been doing. And I hoped that if I were just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to get on a path. I don't need to know where the path is going. If it's the right path, it'll take me where I need to go. And so far, that has been the case. So I took in my fall semester public speaking, which is a communication course. And it's also a gen ed course that most majors are going to require you to take anyway. So I didn't take it for the communication aspect of it. I was like, I'm just going to take this because I feel comfortable taking it and I want to get it over with. In doing that, I had a wonderful professor who was one of the only people on campus I knew at all, because it was still kind of COVID rules. So didn't really get a chance to meet a lot of people. As I was going through the different programs, I came to realize, oh, great, communication looks cool. Who should I talk to? Turns out my teacher's the department chair. Great. The only person I know on campus is the person I need to talk to. See, the universe is telling me I'm doing the right thing already. So I did, and the program sounded cool. And she was like, okay, so if you're interested in this, I mean, the next step would be sign up for COM 101 in the spring. Naturally, I did. And that was the best decision I made in a really long time. It's a really cool, fun class. Like, anybody who's into like pop culture is going to love that type of a class anyway. And the professor I had for that class just happens to be a really cool dude who I've clicked well with. He invited me to join him for the campus radio station meetings because he's the faculty in charge of that club. And I was like, I don't know, but I'll go since you invited me. And I haven't missed a meeting since.
Now, other than public speaking, what are some of the other classes that you're going through being a communications major? John's got something.
Aaron, before you answer that.
Yes.
Okay. I noticed that you said a public speaking class. Now that clicks with me because I ended up taking one of those in college as well. So I'll let you know an awkward moment that I had in my public speaking class, because I know public speaking classes are filled with those. So I'm curious what your story is with that, but I'll never forget this. The communications class that we had, that I ended up taking. Oh my goodness. I'm starting to smile. I can't even talk because it was hilarious. Anytime a student was late, okay, to the class, you had to get up in front of the class before it starts and do like a presentation on something, like whatever that something is, right? Which is already awkward because you don't know, you're running late, you're already stressed, you got anxiety for that. So you just sit back and see everybody be late to the class and they're presenting just something just completely random, something completely ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, that'll never happen to me. I'll never be late. So I was late. So I'm like, oh, frig. I'm already like kind of an awkward person. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I'm just standing in front of the class, like looking at everybody. I'm like, all right, everybody. Well, I was late. And my presentation today is I'm going to show you how to do the dyno. So I literally just prepped up like a dinosaur and just got all sorts of crazy.
Oh, my God.
I kid you not. And it was the shortest presentation I think that's ever been done in the whole class.
Probably got the best results too.
Everybody was like, who the hell is this guy? What is going on here? But that was an awkward moment that not only that I had to go through, but the whole class, like if you're late to it. And I'm just curious if you had any funny experiences or funny stories when it came to those public speaking ones, because my God, do you see some things?
Oh, you do see some things. I didn't see anything quite like that. Kind of wishing I had, to be honest. Unfortunately, the particular dynamic of the class I was in was such that the students I was in there with were largely either like uninterested or like just really didn't want to be in that class. So the level of enthusiasm didn't inspire anybody to, say, demonstrate the dinosaur, for example. Just randomly throwing that idea. That said, it's like it wasn't like funny awkward. It was like cringy awkward a lot of the time.
That's what
like, like, but not like in a funny way. Like in a like it's like you get that like. You're embarrassed for other people. Like I'm the type of person that like if something really awkward is happening, I will get that like secondhand embarrassment.
You feel the shame of others.
I do, and I might sometimes feel it worse than they do, which doesn't seem fair. But
you would with John. He doesn't feel shame.
I do. Or maybe I feel it in a different way where I'm just like, oh, all right, that was a little weird anyways.
Well, I like your method, which is like, well, I already feel awkward and weird, so let's just get everybody on my level. Like, come on, everybody, just come meet me where I'm at. That we're doing it. So yeah. I respect that. I do.
Heck yeah. Colbs, have you ever taken a communication class?
John, I never did any college courses.
No, it doesn't mean anything. High school, whatever.
No, I did take personal finance. That's probably about the most adult course that I took in high school.
The 401k comes back.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
A long-running joke
Hey,
here on
like-
Jack and Can Show, Aaron. We got Colbs. I got Colbs all liquored up one night, and I said, Colbs, tell me your social
Yeah,
security
John
number. 'cause
set
I'm
me up
signing you
for a 401k. I didn't set myself up for a 401k, but I now have a 401k.
Don't look
That's
at it.
like the
not.
most helpful prank ever. Like,
It's not a prank. He did it to be
Like,
helpful.
haha,
Like
you got
he was
401k
trying to be a
now.
good friend because he knew I wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah,
So
Yeah. good looking out. Good
we're just
looking
drinking
out.
a bunch of beers, and I'm like, yeah, Colbs, what's that social? We're gonna get you signed up.
yeah, he's probably also stealing money off me on the side.
And medical insurance.
Oh yeah, he hooked me up for medical insurance too. Something I hadn't had in 10 years.
Wow.
So, Aaron, what? And I know that I've already asked you this question. This I do remember from the first time I met you. But what is your plan once you complete your degree here? What is it that you plan to do with that degree? And even though I've heard the answer, I want you to go ahead and reiterate it because I think a lot of people don't quite understand this, and I think it's better articulated from you.
Oh, okay. So like I don't know.
A
That's the short-
spokesperson, Jack and Canned.
that's the short answer. But the cool thing about me not knowing, in my opinion, is that like I'm totally okay with that at this point. I'm kind of still doing that whole like just get on the path, go on the path, and just kind of see where it leads you. And as kind of like risky and impetuous as that maybe sounds to people who like to really kind of have all their ducks in a row before they dive in. What I've learned is I had the privilege of hearing several guest speakers over the course of this semester and talking to people who are really successful in various fields within communications. One of the higher ups at ESPN, I got to talk to. I got to talk to a screenwriter who started out like writing as a journalist and now she's a screenwriter. I talked to a guy who like started out as like a fitness instructor and is now like a radio DJ. And like what all these people have in common is that they all walked these really weird, interesting paths to get where they are. And that's kind of advice that they had for everybody is, keep an open mind, take as many opportunities as you can, build a great network for yourself, and you never know what doors are going to open. So I'm focusing more on that aspect of it than the actual end goal, because all the best laid plans are always subject to change anyway.
See,
So-
that was why I wanted you to explain that, because when you laid that out for me the first time, I said, you know what? I have never taken a college course, so it wouldn't be right for me to speak on your behalf. And also not that I would remember all the intricacies in which you put that in. But you had said that to me the first time we met, and all I could think to myself is that is a beautiful way to look at that, because in all seriousness, one of the things that she says in there where people don't start off on the path that they get to where they're going by doing this kind of thing, John, that would be like me and you were doing this right now, as this is what we, want to grow at, right? But all of a sudden somebody recognizes that we just are great with chemistry as an on-screen duo, and all of a sudden we're like taking roles in movies and shit just because we have such great comedic chemistry. And that's the kind of thing that I think of when I think of that. I'm like, you know what? There is all sorts of different things that you can gather just by having that kind of experience. It's not even the degree itself. It's the experience of what it is. And as you just spoke to, Aaron, you've already talked to some people that are in things that are definitely across the board, because ESPN and screenwriters are not the same kind of people, although they do intertwine at times with TV shows.
It's
But
all media. It's a really broad field.
it
Yeah.
is, and that's something where almost anybody can get into the field at. And that was part of what I wanted to have you on for, is that you can broadcast to people that are looking into specifically that kind of industry. What is it that I can gain from taking a course like this? And that's just it. it is a whole open range and array of things that can open up to you. There are doors everywhere. You just got to find where the door opens specifically for you. But I knew your words were better for the start of that than mine. And your cat is cute as shit, and I can't stop looking at it.
Getting into everything right now. I should get him a little headset. We can dial him in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about all he's got to say.
All right. So, Aaron, there is one other thing that I want to get to here real quick before we dive into something very, very fun. John, you're not going to know this, but Aaron has been a DJ before. And I don't know if you are still an active DJ, Aaron, but I know that you have been a DJ. I don't know, again, if you still are. John is a DJ as well. So I am curious what that life was or is like for you. And John, she is yours right now.
Come at me.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Weddings, trivia, karaoke. What's up?
Yes. Yes.
All of it.
Everything. Everything. It was never really my plan to become a DJ. Again, this is one of these kind of situations where I'm just like, see what happens. I ended up having DJing be my full-time job for 5 years. It was a lot of different kinds of DJing. So, I mean, I was doing everything from like bars and clubs, special events, things like weddings. I did Sweet 16s, quinceañeras, all that. Karaoke was like some anchors in the week for me. You know, you get good weeklies out of that, and you get good nights out of that too. I mean, where else are you going to go get a good paying gig on like a Tuesday night?
Yep.
But yeah, karaoke will do that for you. So I was doing those as well. I kind of would define my style of DJing as a musical mercenary. I was pay to play. Like, you tell me what the gig is and I will make it happen. So that was my full-time job for quite some time. I decided to retire from that. And I swore I'd never go back. Like, this is
no?
it. This is my last.
You don't miss it? Do you miss the late nights, Aaron? Do you miss the long travel?
No. No, I don't.
Sit down.
However, there's always a but. I have recently been sort of coaxed out of retirement, at least a little bit, because working with the school radio station at MCC, we are occasionally called upon to do different events, or at least show up and help out at some different events at school. And I have an extensive background. I can do the sound. I can run a board. I can do all the techie stuff. And I know how to DJ. So it's helpful because I can volunteer and help out at these events. And I can help train up some of the kids who don't know how to do it yet too.
So Aaron,
so they're using me and I'm like, okay with it. Like, I volunteered, but yeah, like I'm a little bit out of retirement now for that reason.
Heck yeah. Hey, a question for you, for all the DJs out there. Are you a virtual DJ or a Serato fan, or neither?
I used Serato.
Nice.
I used Serato when I was doing my like straight DJing. I did, however, use virtual DJ when I was doing karaoke because I found that it was easier to run and I liked the video interface on it. It was just really simple. And I didn't need a fancy Serato setup to do that. So I used both, but for like just straight, regular DJing and mixing, I was a Serato person.
So what's your favorite karaoke song? Because Aaron, as a karaoke host, you know that you occasionally have to
pressure on.
Jump on the microphone yourself and sing a little bit. Mine is Shaggy, Angel by Shaggy. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I have never attempted Shaggy. But I had a few up my sleeve, and it would sort of depend on the crowd and my mood. A go-to for me was Mr. Jones by the Counting Crows.
Ooh.
That was a good one for me. So yeah, that was kind of, I would do Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon occasionally.
Heck yeah.
And my kind of badass back pocket one that some of my friends would occasionally ask me to do was Aerials by System of a Down.
Oh wow!
Ooh, dang. Okay, that one's bringing a whole nother energy.
So you
level.
you got somewhat of a power voice then, because all of those take a little bit of a depth. That can't just be like something you throw out there real quick.
I guess I don't know. Like I'm not a great singer, but I'm not a terrible singer, and that's the great thing about karaoke. Is like it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, I do love
Yeah.
karaoke.
And that's a running joke that I say when nobody's singing and I have to jump on the mic. I'm like, everybody, please save me from this. I don't want you to hear my voice. I'm not a good singer. So here we go. And I'll like sing like Hootie and the Blowfish, Let Her Cry. Like, let her cry. They're like, John, we're good. We're good. We're going to submit a song. I'm like, there we go. So,
yes, it's like save yourselves from this fate. The show is in your hands, crowd.
Save yourself and save me. Absolutely.
Johnny, I got a
exciting.
question for you. So, since we didn't end up actually recording anything last week, do we have extra time this week?
We do.
We do? Okay, good. Because I'm not ready to really end the interview portion with Aaron, but I know this is usually when we would go to cracking a cold one. So I just wanted to double check before I just went and said, yeah, let's just keep going with this. But this is going well. Now, I didn't mean to cut you off there. If you had a follow-up in there after that, go for it. Otherwise, I've still got...
Oh, the DJ life is a sacred code. We're going to leave it there. Actually, no, we're not. Aaron, what is... Did you ever have any moments in DJ life, whether it be karaoke, a wedding, Sweet 16, anything like that, where you're like, oh, my God, this party has lost complete control? Or was there ever like a situation where a brawl breaks out, where just something zany happened?
Oh dear God, yes. I have seen some things, my friends. Heavens. Okay.
What's something that comes to mind?
I have just some. Okay, I have a couple wild stories. I'll give you one for now, I guess. I used to DJ every Saturday night at the Firehouse in Middletown when that was still there. It's not there anymore. That place would get lit. The bar was upstairs, so it was like there's a restaurant downstairs. Upstairs was a bar, and it was a fairly large bar. They had like an end that had a bunch of pool tables. There's a big area we would clear out. People would dance there, and we'd get a good crowd in there. I really got it going in there. I think I was there for about like 2 years or so. One night there was a guy who was there who was just absolutely disgusting. I mean, he was pissing off every single person he came in contact with, particularly the girls, including me. He was coming up to me, and his whole thing was that I guess I know he was from Colombia because he made sure he kept telling everybody that. But it was, he would come up and he'd start, like, I'm working. You're going to come up, start grinding on me? Like, who the hell are you? And he's in Colombia, this is what we do. I'm like, well, you're not in Colombia, buddy, so get the hell off of me, okay? Like, go chill out, okay? Like, you're pissing everybody off.
It's the hungry.
He did not stop pissing everybody off. So I'm watching this happen. He comes to me again, and I'm like, dude, you touch me or my equipment one more time, I'm going to get your ass bounced out of here. So you need to chill. Oh, relax. It's okay. In Colombia. I'm like, okay, you're done. So I go over to the bouncer, and I was like, him. And he's like, I know, I've had 9. I'm like, he's touching me. He's touching my gear. He's touching everybody in here. He's got to go. He's like, all right, cool. We got him. Rounded him up, threw him down the flight of stairs, literally threw this man down a flight of stairs. And at the bottom, the cops were waiting for him. He got deported.
Wow. Yeah, that's easier than yours was, John.
Yeah. Oh,
that's just one. That's just one.
Aaron, I just want to take a moment here and apologize. That was one of my personalities. That was actually me. That's why I'm recording from my parents' basement, because I just got out. So I have nowhere else to go. So, Aaron, a situation that happened to me that sticks out in the DJ world is one time I was DJing a wedding. All right. everything's nice and smooth. We got the trailer photo booth in the back. We go through the whole introductions. That's great. First dance, everything's good, right? So ceremony's complete. We're pretty much into a good portion of the main reception. Everybody just finished up eating. And in that period between dinner and dance time, people are kind of socializing, drinking heavy, some people go outside, some people stay inside to dance. It's a little bit of a mix. So I notice, and I'm like, all right, like what the heck is going on here? We only got a couple of people inside that are dancing. So I'm like, where did everybody go? So I walk outside right by the window, or I look out the window first, and I see a massive brawl breaking out. Kid you not. People with their shirts ripped, bloody noses, bloody face, motorcycle dumped on the ground. Seriously. So I'm like, oh, all right. That's what I think to myself. And me being me, I'm continuing to play some music, thinking Happy Vibes is going to come back. Happy Vibes did not come back. The bar starts screaming, bars closed, lock the door. He goes, everybody get out of here. I already called the police. Now, here I am like, all right. I think I'm playing like Usher, and I'm me being me, probably thinking maybe I need to bring this back a little retro style or something, just throw on another tune, Make a long story short, the event hall ended up saying, DJ, cut the music. We're done. Everybody go home. They ended up locking up the doors. So basically this wedding ended up getting canceled with about 2.5 hours left to go. And to make it even more sad, the party bus wasn't even there yet because they weren't supposed to be there for another 2 hours.
So they don't have their ride. Oh my God.
Yes. Just ended up either leaving early or ordering Ubers because 3 police cruisers ended up pulling in. So
your ride's here now.
Yeah. So that was a pretty interesting gig for me, and something that'll definitely stand out for all time in my memory.
Oh my God. I have definitely seen some fights at weddings, but never anything that actually got the entire event shut down. That's insane.
Oh yeah. The bride and groom actually got involved with this one. And one more wild wedding story. And Cobes, I know we're probably getting to that point where we want to get to a Kraken segment, so I'll be quick. Another wedding. The groom ended up smashing the cake into the bride's face a little too early on in the night. It was not really, it was kind of that dinner transition into an early cake cutting before the photographers leave. So groom smashes it into the bride's face. And let's just say the bride was very upset with that, ended up running off, was embarrassed, and the father of the bride called off the rest of the wedding.
Oh my God, that's a hissy fit.
Yep.
I mean, like, I'd be pissed, but come on.
Oh yeah, so that was I guess that was one condition that they said that the groom could not do, but he got a little liquored up, and I think he did it anyways. I don't know if it was a challenge from the groomsmen or the bridesmaid. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but those two situations kind of stick out to me.
Yeah, like when he said "till death do us part," he didn't think it meant like that night.
Yeah, the quickest marriage and the quickest divorce of all time, I guess. Unless you're in Vegas, then it's anything goes.
Oh man.
All right, John, I think this works out perfectly. And Aaron, I am going to give you the breakdown live on air only because you haven't experienced this. What's going to happen is John is going to essentially hit basically a 30-second pause, and you'll see a 30-second countdown on here.
Okay.
That will prompt me to sprint to the fridge and grab a beer that I will then crack in front of the microphone. Cracking a cold one with colds is a segment where I go and drink a beer. Typically, John tells the audience something he finds fun, interesting, or otherwise. Now, Aaron, I know I had messaged you that earlier. Did you have something fun or interesting or otherwise to share with the audience? That's okay if you don't.
That was pretty broad, so I wasn't sure what kind of like.
No, that's okay.
We talking fun facts or?
Fun facts are totally welcome to that. It's just anything, because a lot of the time John will just be like, yeah, I just learned, and he'll tell me something from like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
So I am totally fine if you have just a fun fact that nobody's heard, and while you tell that fact, I will drink a beer. I will tell a story of why I'm cracking a cold one this week. I still have one more question for you, and then we have a little bit more show to do. So, John, go ahead and hit the 30-second sounder while I sprint to the fridge as I have my headphones held ready to pull out and sprint. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cracking a Cold One with Kolbs. John or Aaron, whichever one of you has something fun and interesting to tell the audience, I'm going to drink a beer regardless. Go ahead, flip a coin. I don't care. Do it.
Aaron, you're the guest. I'm going to kick it over to you.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I have anything off the top of my head. I feel like
John,
I know you did tell me this might happen.
She doesn't mention that she has something when we were about to go to break. That would have been a good time for you to have something.
Because an interesting fact is that human beings can only use a small fraction of Earth's water. That's my interesting fact of the day, Kolbs. I don't know exactly how much water human beings can use, but that's the interesting fact brought to you by Google. And Aaron, that's how it's done. Just something ridiculous.
Yeah, Aaron, just literally anything that is
I'm
said.
going to crack a cold one too. I think I need one for this. Like, all right, here we go.
There we go.
There it is.
Hi.
Yep, as Michelle just gets home, walking by me in the background, kicking around a box. Michelle, I have to admit, I did not realize that Aaron was going to have a bunch of cats that are going to be roaming around, and now I'm very tempted to dish out left and right. Yes.
She's not amused.
So, John, are you ready for what I'm cracking a cold one about tonight? That was a question. Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Well, that was promptly for John, who just gave me a woo. So I'm assuming that means yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, John, I messed up.
What'd you do?
So we got invitations in the mail a little while back that was for something fun, just kind of like a general party setting is what it sounded like. At well, you know my buddy Nate, his fiance's parents, they were doing a thing for him. And when I had originally asked him about it, he was like, oh yeah, no, it's nothing you got to bring gifts to, nothing that's a big deal, just, whatever. So it comes to last week when we got wrapped up with softball, and he drops me off and he's like, all right, so I'll see you Saturday, right? I'm like, no, gonna be at work. It's like, oh. And he looked defeated, but I was like, oh, well, okay, I'm missing a little party. Yeah, no, John, it turns out that was his engagement party. He just never listed it that way. So I didn't know, and I feel terrible now. I missed one of my best friend's engagement parties.
Oh, Kolbs. Always make time for the party. Never work when there's a party going on. I would have gone, but I was DJing a wedding.
So your work and a party at the same time.
Yeah, you got both in the same instance there. No, that one actually really kind of hit me. I was like, oh, I did it bad. That's not usually what I aim to do. I try to do things for, the loved ones as much as I can, and then I messed up on what. I mean, I honestly didn't know it was his engagement party, but at the same time, I feel like if I got an invitation in the mail, I should have just known, hey, take it off.
True. Now,
yeah, I think that's the key, is that it came in the mail. Like, this was a postage paid invitation to something. There was stationery involved, yes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that should have tipped you off, bro.
Yep, and that's the way that I'm living with this right now. I'm sitting here and I'm like, and trust me, all my friends are letting me know.
But it
But
didn't say that it was.
no, it just says like fun with friends, and I don't even remember what else it said. Friends, family, and puppies or something like that. It said something kind of strange as the
Well, they
third
should have
thing.
had
So
you
I
with
was like,
puppies. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds like an engagement party right there.
yes, well, I didn't read between the lines, evidently, John.
Damn it, Coles. Damn it. Well, you'll just have to show up to the wedding. Make sure if it's not listed and it says wedding, the
Well,
next invitation
Of course
that
I'm
you
gonna go
get.
to the wedding. I know the date. I'm gonna make sure I have it off. I know when the bachelor party is. I'm gonna take that off. Like I know when that stuff's happening. I didn't realize this was an engagement party. One thing Michelle told me is that engagement parties usually happen right after they get engaged. They got engaged Easter. No, not this year. Last year.
Typically, Jack and Jill's.
That was the one thing that I asked him. I was like, is this like your Jack and Jill? He's like, no. I thought I was good.
Well, I think you're in the clear then because you checked with Nate ahead of time. So you might get a hall pass for this one.
He forgave me after softball this last week. John, speaking of, would you like the softball update for the week?
Sure. Before you go ahead and give that though, Aaron, have you ever played softball, any sports like that?
Not really. Like, have I ever played it in my life? Of course. Not in any type of formal setting or for a team or anything like that. That's probably for the best. I'm not that athletic. You don't want to see that.
Aaron, are you into any sports?
To watch? Yes. I watch NFL. I like football.
There we go.
That's
Who's
my
your squad?
Yes.
Who's
We
your
were just
team?
talking about it on the sports roundtable episode, how football is going to be coming up here in September. So
Yes, I know. Well, and since my family is into baseball. So
yes,
like, I'm aware of what's going on, but I don't like keep up with it as much as they do.
Oh, Aaron's drinking a Coors.
hey,
Oh, hey, look at you.
Hey.
cracking a cold one with Kolb's wouldn't be one without a Coors Light in hand.
I used to be sponsored by Coors Light when I was DJing. Fun fact.
What?
John, I'm telling you, that's something we got to get on. Like, I'm telling you, I would be the best person to sponsor them ever, or for them to sponsor, rather.
True. We got to reach out to them. So, Aaron,
right,
if you still have
John.
those inside sources, please put in the word.
I'll see what I can do.
So, as far as the softball update for the week goes, John, I know that we didn't get to record last week. We did win last week, but this week we did lose. We lost 13-6, relatively disappointing fashion. We actually played pretty good defensively. Just we didn't get the hits going. And granted, we had kind of a broken team, and it was about half of a team. Like, we had a bunch of people that don't actually play on our team there. And we had a bunch of hurt people too. Our team captain currently has something wrong with his ribs. They're not broken, but they're not good. He's a big guy. It doesn't take a lot for him to have a little bit that's off with him. And we got guys with recovering COVID issues and all sorts of other things. So there's not a lot of healthy players on this team right now, but we were still able to go out there, put out a little bit of effort, and it wasn't the worst game. Yeah, it wasn't our best. John, I went 2 for 3, and I got on base the 2 worst ways that you could picture getting on base, where I hit a fly ball that wasn't deep enough for the outfield to get to, but was too far for the infield to get to. So, in theory, that's a good idea, except that thing hung in the air just like maybe 4 or 5 seconds too long. It was not pretty, but it did drop right where it needed to. Nobody got to it, got on that way. And then the second one, I already had a strike called on me, and I thought that the next ball coming in was going to be called a strike pretty much regardless. So I swung at it, but that thing was like short of the plate, So I really like had to golf swing at it, and I chipped it right in front of me, and I just beat out the throw. Ugly ways to get on base, but we are currently 3-4. We play a 4-3 team next week. Excited to continue the season. To the audience that doesn't care, I don't care. I'm going to tell you every week how softball goes for me.
Aaron, it's a running theme across all the episodes here.
Yes, and we do get some actual hate for me talking about my softball team, and I don't care. I will continue to talk about my softball team for the rest of the time because I care about it.
Well, you know what? I'm just glad to hear that you guys are winning games because a couple of years ago,
last year, John, we were 0-13, and then we won our first playoff game.
So, Aaron, that's when the update started. And ladies and gents, if you're just tuning in, yes, Colbs just gave another softball update. On to bigger and better things. Aaron, question for you.
Yes.
What is your favorite season?
Favorite season? Like
fall time, summer,
seasons?
winter?
Autumn. Autumn is my favorite season.
Awesome. Is there a particular month?
October.
Yes. Okay, that leads me into this one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Colbs knows where I'm going. What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, I can't choose just one. Horror is my favorite in general. Like horror. I don't. You see, like really? I've got my little Jason here.
What?
Picture from the end of The Shining.
Okay.
All around my house.
I didn't even notice these things. Holy shit, John, we're going to have her back for a second episode of just horror movie topic.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can do that. Definitely.
Wow. Okay. That is mind-blowing because I was totally about to bring the show in another direction and I'm still going to. But John, thank you for asking that question because yes, Aaron, we have to sit down and talk sometime about just horror movie genre stuff.
It's my favorite.
A Halloween episode. I think is in our future.
Yeah, but like an early ass Halloween episode where we're doing it like in a couple of weeks kind of thing.
It's always Halloween in my heart. So I'm ready when you guys are.
Same.
Oh, God, we're in the same boat. John and I will sit down and watch horror movies any time of the year. That is honestly, I would not have thought that.
Colbs, before you move on real quick, Aaron, it's a running thing too. Me and Colbs were supposed to sit down and watch the newest Halloween movie that came out last Halloween. We're going to see if we could.
John, I think it came out like 2 or 3 Halloweens ago at this point.
No, it wasn't that long ago. The Halloween Kills?
Yeah. Last year.
That wasn't that long ago.
Oh, that was last year?
Party.
Okay.
I think it was like this past fall, I think.
So, okay, never mind. John's right.
We're going to have to talk about that.
Right here. It's very easy to verify.
We're going to have to talk about that movie once we see it. And I was curious if you ended up seeing that one already.
You know, I didn't see that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
released.
Okay, so last year.
It's still on HBO Max right now.
Sounds to me like we're going to have a movie night.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah, John and I have actually almost as a running theme have talked about that on the show for what seems to have been it has to have been since the week before that came out because we've been talking about it. I feel like almost every week, like, hey, you watched it yet? Nope. And that's pretty much been as far as we've gotten. John and I used to have more time to sit down and watch movies together, and now we're getting older and it's not happening. But Aaron, I did have one more question for you that I wanted to get to in the first half. We still haven't gotten there.
Okay.
So Michelle accepted an award on Thursday, and
Indeed.
The audience wouldn't necessarily know that. Yes,
congrats Michelle.
She received an alumni award from her college that she went to, and I wasn't able to really promote that prior to it happening because John and I didn't get to record last week because John's internet router didn't work where he moved to. So she received that award, and I'll just give a little bit of a preface here to lead into this. I pre-gamed the award ceremony itself because I assumed at a community college that they would not serve any alcoholic beverages. So I said, well, let's get a little something in me and we'll make this fun. I'll be able to let it, wear off over time. And it turned out that they did, in fact, serve alcoholic beverages. So, grandma didn't raise no bitch. I went ahead and got myself a glass of Prosecco. And then I got myself, a couple of more. And I still think I was good after that. But then as we went to a bar after we went to the ceremony, the first thing that greets me is shot girls with a giant tray. And it almost felt rude to say no. So I was doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin, John. I was sitting there. I was like, I had a beer, and I had a beer, and I had a Prosecco, even though I'm pretty sure he never said Prosecco in his little thing. And I had a bourbon, and I had a rum, I had a vodka. And all of a sudden,
don't forget the nipper of like what was it, Jim Beam or something?
No, I still have not drank. I still have not drank that. Here's one thing that Michelle had revealed.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
I didn't realize.
Finish your story.
No, it's okay. That's actually perfect because one of the things that Michelle had told me is that I kept pulling that nip out left and right, and I only remember pulling it out at the community college. I do not remember revealing it at any other time. And she said that I just kept pulling it out of my pocket to show people. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't remember that. So, John, for you, I know that you had gotten the Snapchat, but that was not karaoke, by the way, John. The band enjoyed how much I clapped for them, and so they just asked me to come sing a song. And
dude, you crushed
it. Okay, we'll go with that.
Can we release that video online on our social media?
I mean,
platform?
I think she only took like 30 seconds worth of snaps. I don't think she got the song. And yeah, I don't think you would want the whole thing, John. Like I did the part that she caught wasn't that bad. I
thought it was great.
Yeah, no, see, here's the thing, John. You know that when I'm sober that I can sing pretty well, but not like great by any means. Yeah, when I don't remember pulling the nip out of my pocket, it doesn't go very well at all.
So, Aaron, a little bit for you.
Yeah, I'll let John take it over from this part because he knows all the questions to ask.
How can I help you?
A couple of weeks ago, not even so much like a question for you specifically, just a couple of weeks ago, I just kind of want to bring this to light, right? Me and Kolbs ended up going out to go see I guess you could call it an 80s hair band, but they play a little bit of everything. They're called The Leftovers. Amazing band.
Familiar with.
They are actually really good.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Amazing freaking band. I love those guys. So Kolbs ended up coming over that night, and oh my gosh, did Kolbs get crazy then as well? And now, Kolbs, I'm seeing snaps of you singing with a band. I'm seeing 3 people here. Rose plays bass. We could get Michelle on rhythm guitar. Do I see a start of a band? We have 5 people already.
John spent the whole time we were at the Hungry Tiger trying to figure out how me and him were going to start a band. I'm like, John, we don't have musical talent. Like, we just have entertainment. We're not talented at music. We just know how to make people happy. That is the only thing that we bring to the table here.
I'm taking audio production in the fall. I might be able to polish you guys up a little bit.
Wow. Hey, Johnny. Sounds to me like we're releasing an album.
It sounds like we're good. I think we're ready to do it. So Michelle better be the lead singer. Tell her to get ready. Tell her to get the vocal cords ready. We're hitting the road. We're going on tour.
All right, we're going.
I have sung karaoke with Michelle before, so
yeah. Oh yeah. She's not bad. She's pretty solid at singing.
Kolbs, ask Michelle what's her favorite karaoke song.
Babe, what's your favorite karaoke song?
That's what I'm singing with. If it's with Aaron, it's Black Horse and the Cherry Tree.
I don't know if any of you heard that.
I already know the answer to that. So
what was it? Black Horse and Cherry
Black
Tree?
Horse and the Cherry Tree. If we're singing together, that's usually what we sing.
Yeah, she said if it's with Aaron specifically, that was what her
the heck song is that? And who is that?
Yeah,
by?
I've never heard of that song.
It's by KT Tunstall, and you would probably recognize it if you heard it.
What genre?
That Shoop is what I thought you were going to say. That was why
it's like a pop rock kind of a song. It's a cool song because it kind of has its own groovy little vibe to it, but yeah.
Michelle also throws out that she loves to do What I've Got from Sublime.
Ooh, yep. I like that one too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one thing that this band really threw me off with. They're like, hey, what do you like? I'm like, Godsmack. Like, I'm like, yeah, I guess you guys probably would. I mean, they do acoustic stuff, but I get it. You guys are
Acoustic
kids.
duo.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's what
I
made it
mean,
even
I
better.
cover Godsmack, but it's not really
yeah.
what
It would have
they
been a weird
do.
vibe for that band. So, and they're like, okay, well, what about this? I'm like, no, I don't know any. Like, I know
Actually,
of
with the
them.
box drum and acoustic guitar, they could do a sick cover of Voodoo if they really wanted to.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
dope.
what John makes me do every time we go anywhere.
Yeah.
But he throws out Simple Man, and I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, the Shinedown version. I feel like you'd know that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but how much do you really want to challenge me vocally? Like, what are you doing? That's a really okay. Here we go. But Aaron, more so, the question I wanted to ask is, how much of an asshole was I?
That's a great question. Where to start? So I didn't. let's unpack this a little, shall we? So I didn't think you were being an asshole necessarily, but I seen the whole thing. So here's what I saw. There's a lot going on. I don't know how much about what happened that night do you want me to disclose at the moment.
Oh,
Everything.
no, if you're talking about my man crush on Stefan, go for it. Just let
You
it
made
loose.
a new friend, and I think that blossoming bromance might have been the wind beneath your wings, my friend. I think that might have been the thing that just like
Stefano? Oh, Stefano.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, him.
So what is this bromance thing about?
Oh, he's
so
very handsome.
he is a beautiful man. He's just a lovely, like, just very nice to look at person, and a nice guy. Infectious smile, delightful Italian accent, and he makes delicious pizza. I mean, really,
Yeah, I
like,
wasn't the only person that fell for him that night.
he checks all the boxes. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Like, I mean, just objectively speaking, like this, yeah. So it's like that. Like, it's almost like a little intimidating to be around him, and then he's just like so freaking nice that like that's not even an issue anymore.
That
It's
was
like,
part of what threw me off. Is usually people that are as good looking as him are not also nice. I was
Oh my
like,
God, he's a
wait a
sweetheart.
minute.
So I had that encounter actually. So Colbs, as you know, I went to go see LA Guns and Faster Pussycat in New Bedford, Mass, which of
Okay.
course is
I did not know that, but okay.
oh
continue.
yeah. I went to go see them literally, I think, a week and a half ago with Rose. So, of course, I was all dressed up with my wig and my shirt, everything like that. So, we're going in, and I kid you not, I had a big time bromance going on. I see this guy that's about 6'6" with long hair. So, I walk up to the guy and I'm like, dude, I love your hair. I've always wanted long hair. You look like Fabio. I'm like, you're a rock god, bro. You're a rock god. And I was just so jazzed up, and I could just tell like he was looking down on me.
Yeah,
like,
which is impressive, Aaron. I know you don't know this, but John is 6'4".
so
So-
you found a beautiful man with beautiful hair who's also taller than you.
yes.
Checking
and
a lot of boxes in this case too. Okay. Do tell,
So
go on.
I'm talking to him, and he looks at Rose, and he goes, "So, are you guys like, single? Because I'm getting a big time bromance from you, man." And I'm like, dude, like, no, we're together. Like, yeah, I'm just saying you're a rock god, like you're Fabio. He just, I don't know. He must have thought I was hitting on him or something, but I was just admiring the rock god.
I mean, is it like even an issue? It's like we could all just kind of be in a bromance. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box here.
Right? It was a fun experience. So, Colbs, I'm glad to hear that you had a bromance as well.
It was really beautiful. It was
I thought so. I still think it
sweet.
is. I don't take any of it back. I mean, at this point, it doesn't sound like I did anything that's like detrimental to myself. So,
No,
as far as I'm concerned, I had a good time.
That was precious. That part, like, especially was so pure. Like, I loved that. That was great. So, and it was, yeah, that was delightful. You were very exuberant. I think would be a way to say it. in your support of the Music Act.
I just clap loud.
You weren't just clapping loud. There was a lot of cheering as well that was also very loud compared to the level of applause and cheering from anybody else who was there. Again, I thought that was very nice of you as somebody who's performed, and like, trying to get the crowd excited. Like, I see you. I appreciate that.
Okay, so it sounds to me like I just had a good night. As far as I'm concerned, I'm in the clear. Nothing bad happened at all.
No, nothing bad happened. And then yeah, I think it was just like how conspicuous you were might have made certain members of our party uncomfortable. Do you like how diplomatic I'm being about this?
Yeah, you're doing a good job. I mean, I told you could roast me on it, but by the way, I do think that John's computer actually died.
I was wondering where he went.
Just thrown in the private chat that his computer is going to die.
I
didn't
see
even
that.
notice.
Oh.
You know what's? Oh, here he goes. I was going to say, because this is going to be the fun part. Is I don't know what we do from this point. John, what did you just rig up? Is your phone now doing this?
Looks
This
like
is
it.
this is what recording in the basement looks like. We're plugging in the good old MacBook.
All right.
Backup laptop, just ready for exactly when this happens.
Hey, Aaron, welcome to an award-winning podcast.
It feels good to be here. Yeah.
It better, because you're going to be coming back for Halloween breakdown stuff, and not just of
We have so much
Halloween
more to talk about.
Now that we know that we have the horror movie genre to talk about, I can already create a whole show off of this. So this is going to be perfect. Aaron, we are absolutely going to have you back again soon. John, is there anything else that you would like to dish out before we close this out? If you want me to keep going for a little, I do have something more that I could talk about. If not,
if you want to keep it going, Coves, keep it running, man. We got time. It's up to you.
Okay, well, this one should be pretty short, and I did kind of promise this at the beginning of the episode, is my dishwasher shit the bed. Yep, mid-load. Yep, good point, babe.
Ooh.
So Michelle and I have been washing dishes by hand, which honestly really isn't that bad. Yep. But we've been washing dishes by hand, and more so the problems have been that I had to go buy another dishwasher. And granted, that'll be paid back by just not paying rent, because technically it'll be for the landlord. So I'm not really paying anything for it.
That's kind of cool.
It is, because it's not like we're bringing the dishwasher that I just bought with us. It's going to be our landlord's. But I mean, yeah, it's still $1,200 that comes out of the bank account. So, pain in the ass for the very near future. But I mean,
dishwasher for $1,200. What kind of?
Well, that
dishwasher
also
did you
includes
get?
the installation, the warranty, all the other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we got her hooked up nicely. But more so, yeah, me and Michelle are over here washing dishes by hand, and I actually was sending something to the guys on from breaking down the tape earlier. I told them, I said, this is the most I've ever felt like a 50s housewife. Here I am. I'm just scrubbing away at the dishes and just wondering, when my baby's gonna get home.
Oh, that's
yeah, that got her too. She just gave a little nailed it.
See, this
Well
new
played.
apartment that I'm in is the first time I've actually had a dishwasher in one of the apartments that I've rented. I've
Really?
always been a dishwasher.
I did used to live at a house that didn't have a dishwasher for a while too, so it's really not that big of a deal. But
This is it. I got no dishwasher.
you got
See?
cats. They can do all the work for you. Look at him. He's
If
stretching
only.
out on the oven right now.
He's licking a dish right now. He's cleaning it up. He's better than a dishwasher. No, I'm kidding.
He doesn't even usually do this. It's like he knows the webcam is on and he's showing
Oh,
off.
John, I don't know if you realize what you just did there. Did you notice you just did the pun of, oh, I'm just kidding?
Oh, yeah. That's an old saying that I used to do.
All right, John, that was actually the story for you. So are we ready to plug and get out of here?
Aaron, thank you so much for jumping on here with us. Excited for this Halloween episode to come up because I really want to talk about that. I think there's a lot of
yes.
great movies and shows to talk about to get us into that Halloween spirit. So
Absolutely. Hey, I am here for it. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is cool.
hell yeah. To be continued.
Absolutely. Yes,
Hope so.
yeah, no, it will,
Yes.
because John and I really love to talk about horror movies. So this is going to be actually as fun as this was. That might even be funner.
Horror is my favorite. Like I have, yeah. I mean, I guess no spoilers. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, it's my favorite.
100%. I'm pumped.
Same.
Holmes, I'll kick it over to you, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, check us out on Jacked and Canned, anywhere that you get podcasts. Check us out at Jacked and Canned, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else on social media. And by that, I mean literally just those three things. Don't look into anything else. We don't have one. And also check out I got to learn my own show. Nobody is Shiftier with me, Kolbs, the Shifty Hippo. Doing that under Breaking Down the Tapes media. We're going to come out with some social media for that here in the near future, as well as giving it its own Spotify platform, other than just being simply under Breaking Down the Tape, so that you guys can find it a little bit easier. We're still coming up with a logo. That's part of the holdup. But Zach is working on it. Jimmy Pibbs is working on it. We're going to get this solved. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Aaron. Thank you to John. As always, this has been Jacked and Canned.